to
What's
us.
up, witches?
What's up, witches? To
Us.
us. All right. So, I don't need.
What are we
sleepy
talking
time
about today?
Tonight, we are discussing the Chinese pantheon. As vast as it freaking is.
Okay, Chinese gods, okay, and goddesses.
Yes. So, based on the research. Sorry, it is mandatory that when we come home from work, that we do a shot or two. And today was, at least for me, extra special, taxing, because people like to really micromanage other departments instead of looking at their own. And then for you, it was a training experience.
Yes. For the last 3 hours of my day, I was training a new associate.
Don't start over. I can't. That gives away a new employee. Anyway, go ahead.
Who was really trying my patience.
And trying too hard, thinking too much, putting too much thought into the act of checking someone out.
Trying too hard to avoid mistakes, but causing themselves to make mistakes.
No one can relate to that, though, right? I mean, I can't. If I don't try to make a mistake, I am perfect. I don't make any mistakes.
I had to tell this person,
We won't talk about my last 6 relationships.
you're going to make mistakes. That's how you learn. By making mistakes. You don't learn by being perfect. Nobody...
There's no... The managers, salaried managers, aren't perfect. Like how I changed that up. But they like to project this image that they are. Anyway.
So yes, it was a very trying day for the both of us.
So we may have done an extra shot besides the one that we do when we come home together. Plus, I may have done a swig.
Yes.
Now, for those that don't know, a swig is roughly about a half shot, depending on how much you like to guzzle. That was not intended to be sexual, but
Anyway, here we are.
here we are, and we are going to be talking about the Chinese pantheon to a degree. Okay, so first off, there, through our research, there are over 200 gods and goddesses worshipped through ancient and even modern day China.
Okay.
But if you consider every deity, spirit, there, and I think I mentioned this, or we mentioned this later, the gravestone or graveyard, your household, it could be for the safety of the household and the prosperity of the household, and like it just goes on and on.
Okay.
There's well over 1,000 deities, and a rough estimate. That's mind-blowing in and of itself, fascinating also, and helped to fuel our desire to find out more, but we can't, I mean, unless we literally made a 3 or 4 part, and that might even not be enough.
That would probably be a 10 part.
And they change based on, so there's the Taoists, the Buddhists, and then other.
Yes.
in multiple resources, they referred to other, like they weren't Buddhist and they weren't Taoists. They believed in similar gods and goddesses, but they also had
other.
Yes. So we are going to give. Shut up, Hope. We're going to give a
Brief
semi basic summary, as you said, of them. The most popular, and I hate. I don't hate doing it because I used to do it just to piss people off, the quotations. So I'll try not to. But the most popular gods and goddesses, and a very brief synopsis because of each one, because they all...
The history is rich.
It is.
And deep.
It is. We're
giving you the Cliff Notes or Spark Notes version.
What the fuck is Spark Notes? I understand Cliff Notes.
It's basically today's version of Cliff Notes.
Oh, excuse me. So
by saying Cliff Notes...
3-page description is not enough. They need... okay.
Because I guess Cliff Notes doesn't exist anymore.
Are you serious?
From what I understand, Cliff Notes doesn't exist anymore.
I would fucking fail in school.
So, by me saying Cliff Notes, I'm talking to the older generations. I'm an older generation too. But
Did you hear that insult?
I said, I am an older generation too. I had Cliff Notes.
Okay,
but
I'll let that pass.
The people of today, like the ones born, I think, after 2000.
No, they have Google and Wikipedia.
Well, but they also have Spark Notes.
Which, by the way, there is no research. Now, I'm not going to lie. I look at, after reviewing 2 or 3 other resources, I will look at Wikipedia on the same topic just to see.
Just to compare?
Well, no. Just to see how close they are to, like, most of my resources are, like, with the Native American. There was a Native American reference that actually wrote a page talking about what was it. So, and then, or if there's something that I didn't find in any of my research, I'll take that and search it in Google to see if anything realistic or real comes up. If
so
like
you like to compare and contrast.
I think that's a simplistic way of putting it, but probably a good way to put it for the sake of the recording that's already going to be long, so I don't need to extend it anymore with my I won't say nonsensical, but rambles. Anyway, so as I already kind of mentioned, each town, village, city, field, farm, and farmer, river, stream, garden, tree, or body of water, and even a graveyard plot. You remember the movie Mulan? Like the dragon, what was his name? Mushu, the guardian of her family's burial plots. They had, that was probably the only, or one of maybe only 2 or 3 realistic aspects that they put into that cartoon. I loved it. I've only watched it once or twice, but it was a good movie. Anyway, see, there's my ramblings again.
Yeah, and why did you only watch it once or twice?
Well, I don't remember a lot of songs in it, but I'm sure there were. It's fucking Disney. Yeah. I can't handle the fucking Disney.
Be glad you weren't at graduation.
Oh, shout out to Chase. Mother Lover graduated and is doing a job actually
in Michigan.
Yes, Michigan is lovely.
Yes,
lovely.
So my oldest son Chase just graduated from high school, and I was at his graduation. It wasn't so much high school graduation. It was more like high school graduation, the musical.
When she sent me that text because I was at work, I was like, what the F are you talking about?
Because, and I don't remember this
with
happening.
The Phantom of the Opera. They played Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, no, not played. The orchestra and choir performed songs from the Phantom of the Opera. There was also a jazz band that performed. Now that I might have enjoyed.
I'm just not a big fan of musicals, period. Like, I've seen, what was that? Not Frosted.
Frozen.
Frozen, thank you. Once. Never watched the subsequent, even though I love Olaf. And I remembered his fucking name because he's fucking awesome. Olaf is awesome, but I could only watch that once because it was all fucking songs.
Yeah. So, and be glad you weren't there. Because, like, he has a problem with musicals. I was, like, sitting there really, like, what did I tell you? You would have wanted to put a gun barrel in your mouth because I did?
Actually, I think you might have used the word shotgun, but, or I may have thought about that thinking of what you told me of the songs. No, not a gun. It would have taken a shotgun.
But yeah, like it was painful. I mean, they were
not to make light of suicide.
No. A+ for effort on the people performing the music.
They did an amazing job from what you told me. Oh, don't be face video. It's not just audio.
No. A+ for effort. I'm not the person who's going to sit there and tell you to not do it. But there were a couple times where they were a little...
So they were off a key.
They were nervous, I think, probably.
I mean, who would not be nervous doing Phantom of anything from Phantom of the Opera? Like the classical, and I've not seen the play, and plays I will go to, even with the music. For some reason, I like plays. But I can't do a fucking 2-hour movie where they make a 2-hour movie out of the play. I can't. Anyway, see, getting distracted. Moving on. So, of those, like the town, the stream, garden, tree, rock, cemetery plot, there were elemental earth spirits or nature spirits. They were known as, and I'm not going to pronounce these right, I'll spell out every one of the words. There's no way. There's a few I kind of know just because they've been used in news, articles, TV, whatever. But it was a Quinchen, Kuei-SHEN. So those entities, nature, elemental, or otherwise, were also honored and revered, and sacrifices given in the terms of like fruits, vegetables, flowers, like the nature spirit, like the Wiccan typically do, or witches even. These were elementals who had never been mortal. They were known as Guei, Guei. The others had been mortal. They were human beings that had died and passed on to the afterlife. And they would return to haunt the living for various reasons, and hence rituals and spells were created to appease them.
So if I die and come back as a Guei, I could have some fun.
Well, I kind of... The Mexican nationals may not do it for the same reason, but the night... Is it the Day of the Dead?
Dia de los Muertos.
They bring out food. They bring... If they have any of the remains of the loved ones, or at least an image of, they will bring it out, and they will bring a plate of food to offer to it, right? It kind of reminds me of the same thing in a way. Anyway, then there were those that were deities, then there were deities that were human, that did amazing acts of fearlessness to earn their way and their position and seat with the gods, like the Immortal Eight. They were humans that kicked ass, demons, evil individuals, humans, and they won, and they were granted immortality by the Mother Goddess. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, giving reference to different things, because there's a lot of info. So, and then don't forget about the ancestors. They also worshipped the ancestors to a degree. They would leave offerings out for the ancestors. Again, the cemetery, whole thing with the cemetery. And that's also a form of worship. So, shall we start with the gods?
Sure.
Okay. You want to? Yeah. How? Like what? Bixia.
Bixia.
In English, that's how I would probably pronounce it.
The Chinese goddess of fertility and the guardian of children and mothers.
There's a couple. I've noticed there's a couple of there's another one, and then they have multiple creator gods. Well, there were 6 according to the most known, or at least published mythos of creation. There were 6 gods that helped create. So there's multiple. You'll see as we go through if you don't remember finding them. But then there's Kai Shen, and I say Kai Shen because that's based on what I've seen of their language. It's Caishen.
Yes, and that from what I know of, from what I'm learning during my internship with a traditional Chinese medicine herbalist, that would be correct.
Okay. Excuse me. Sorry, don't want to get that wrong. He was the god of wealth and money, which I did not look up this word. Cudgel. Turns iron into gold. He was an alchemist. I mean, that's what alchemy was really about, at least in the Middle Ages. They were trying to find a way to turn simple metals into
gold.
That next one is Kanji. Kanjie, okay.
Revered cultural hero credited with creating the Chinese writing system.
That's the second one. Well, alphabetically the first one, but Huang Di, the Yellow Emperor, was credited for creating the writing. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. They have multiples for the same thing. And then Shangji, the lunar goddess in their mythology, mother of the 12 moons. Now, I did find some information about the 12 moons. I also found something about, was it the 9 suns or something, which will appear later in our discussion. But I don't remember what the 12 moons was really about at the heart of it. And I decided not to write it down because there's so much we're already covering.
Right.
If you want to look, I mean, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating.
We're basically just trying to give you Cliff Notes, Spark Notes versions.
Yes.
So you can do your own research.
I'm telling you, though, it's fascinating.
It is.
It really is. So then there's the Shangji. No,
you just talked about Shangxi.
Shangji, but I'm saying Shang. It's different. It's a little bit different.
No, we're on Dianmu now.
Sorry.
the goddess of lightning who was married to the thunder god Lei Gong.
Leigong.
Yes.
Thunder god, huh? So she had a thing for Thor.
Or
James, you owe me a Coke. Or Zeus? Yeah. And then there's Dijun, D-I space J-U-N. He was apparently an ancient Chinese emperor and husband to both the sun goddess and moon goddess.
Ooh, how did he have the time? Or the energy?
And again, there's lots more info with each one. How he attained the level of being a god, it's, I'm sure, quite interesting and not drawn out, but lengthy.
Next
Doumu?
we have
Doumu?
Doumu.
Doumu.
The Chinese goddess and cosmic deity, mother of the Big Dipper constellation. Is she also the mother of the Little Dipper?
Somewhere. There's a joke in there somewhere that's probably be inappropriate and some would consider offensive to that.
Big Dripper, Little Dripper.
Yeah, Dipper, not Dripper.
Have you never seen Regarding Henry?
Doesn't sound
with Harrison Ford?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So, this Harrison Ford movie where he basically gets shot during a robbery in a convenience store.
Was he the robber?
No, he got shot by the robber, and he basically has to relearn things like how to tie his shoes, how to read, and when he admits to his daughter that he can't read while they're at the library, she teaches him how to read, and they're looking at an astrology book, and he sees the Big Dipper, and he calls it the Big Dripper, the Little Dripper.
No, I never saw that. That would be funny. Now, then after Domu,
yeah,
is the Dragon King. Now, there is so much info about the Dragon King, but all I am going to say is that the god of all waters, weather, and other dragons. And there are some references that I found, more than two, that mention dragons being the very first deity that they, like the oldest. Before the creator gods and all that, that was what they saw first as something that could bring good fortune or disaster.
So when we talk about dragons, are we talking about like an actual physical being?
We're talking about the image of, no, not a spaceship. Well, I mean, we're talking about a culture at that time. Right now, the Chinese culture is said to go back 4,000, 5,000 years. Consider it 8,000 years, 10,000 years. How would you describe something you see flying in the sky that has maybe a long tail? No wings, so you wouldn't call it a dragonfly.
Well, no, but...
And there was fire coming out of it. It eventually became breathing fire, but what if there was a tail of flame from the craft?
Okay.
So
I mean,
that is said, I'm not saying that's why, I'm just saying that is said to be one of the oldest deities.
Okay.
But I did not look up the Dragon King. I did not look up his actual name other than the Dragon King. And I challenge you to do some research on that. And then what's next?
The Eight Immortals. Legendary Chinese heroes who fight for justice and vanquish evil.
And because of their acts, as I mentioned earlier,
they earned
the
immortality.
Queen Mother earned...
Queen Mother of the West, yes.
Yes. Who was the wife of... It wasn't the Yellow Emperor, or was it? Well, we'll get there. This looks like a very English attempt at this. It's ERLANG space SHEN. Now the Shen I get, Erlong, Chinese god of engineering, a great warrior with an all-seeing third eye. And then there's Fuxi.
No, Fuxi.
Fuxi. I pronounced it the way it's spelled. Fuxi.
Fuxi. Fuxi.
Humanity's original ancestor in Chinese mythology. Supposedly the first.
Right. Husband of Nuwa.
Yes.
And then we have Guanyin, who is the benevolent goddess of mercy, who is called upon in times of suffering.
Kind of like a nursing, like the patron saint of nurses.
Probably, yeah, or of mothers.
Yeah. What?
I remember doing research about her before, but I cannot remember any of the research.
There's a lot.
It's probably in my book somewhere. Y'all, my Book of Shadows or Grimoire, whatever you want to call it, is seriously a like 7 series.
Yeah.
A series of 7 binders that are each at least 3 inches thick. So,
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Try and dig that information out. It's going to take some time.
And then there's Hung Dai.
No,
or Hung
you missed
Di.
one.
I did?
Ho Yi.
Ho Yi. Legendary archer and Chinese hero, famous for shooting down the 9 suns. Again, there's a reference to something that when I ran across the 9 suns twice in my research. Fascinating story, but would have added like 10 minutes to the whole video, and it's already going to be a long one.
Okay.
Shush. Do you want to do the yellow? Do you want to talk about the Yellow Emperor?
Wang Di. The Yellow Emperor, who is a mythical Chinese sovereign and cultural hero, included among the legendary 3 sovereigns,
which we don't talk
emperors.
about, and we don't talk about that. Like, there is so much to their culture and history. It's fascinating.
He's an individual deity or part of the 5 regions' highest deities in Chinese folk religion. It is said that he traveled the universe and saw the sadness of the people in China and came down to teach medicine, law, and writing. He is credited to have introduced wooden homes, carts, and the wheel, the bow and arrow, boats, government, and coinage as currency.
Yes.
Interesting.
Because it was all barter.
Right.
I mean, based on the research that...
Right, it was barter and trade up to that point. He ruled for 100 years, and there is one version of his departure where he used a cauldron to call down a yellow dragon and
it was
flew...
a big cauldron.
Okay. It doesn't
I'm just
say
saying
big
it was
cauldron,
a big cauldron.
It's just a cauldron.
I know, I'm just saying it was a big cauldron.
And he flew into the heavens within it.
Within the yellow dragon that came down to pick him up. The other story, from what I recall, is just that he died and went to heaven.
Is this the one with the...
No. That's the Mayan. Our next one's going to be about Mayan.
Okay.
Another fascinatingly amazing culture.
Yes.
Just, anyway.
Okay.
Huxian, a fox fairy of mythology, Chinese mythology. Bringer of, and interesting how we consider in modern lingo, a fox is, well, at least in the 70s and 80s. Nowadays, I don't know what they would call someone that they feel hot, that is hot or sexy.
It's still a fox.
It's still
like you're a silver fox.
Anyway, the bringer of seductive wealth and moral ruin. Sounds like a lot of fun, though. At least it used to. The Jade Emperor. This is another one where we do give a little info, not so much as the yellow, because, I don't know, I feel like the Yellow Emperor is kind of like pushed out to some degree. There was lots of info about the Jade Emperor. It was blatant. Like, you didn't have to really search for...
Right.
Like I did, you did with the Yellow Emperor.
Right.
But the supreme ruler of heaven in Chinese mythology, first emperor of China and husband to the Queen Mother, who granted the immortal eight their immortality.
Right.
Various origin stories associated with him, and when he came into existence after Pangu. Now, Pangu is a character that at the very, very, very beginning, when it was nothingness, there was an egg. Within this egg was an embryo that was developing. And when he got to a certain age, he felt very constrained and claustrophobic, basically, and busted out of the egg. And through that action, created heaven and earth, or something to that effect. But heaven and earth wanted to join together, so he pushed them apart. He's a giant. It mentions that in other parts of it, just like many other...
So Pangu was like Atlas in the Greek mythology.
Yes. And then he separated heaven and earth, and when he was exhausted and died, there were 4 other gods that somehow just...
magically appeared.
That held, because they viewed the earth kind of not necessarily flat, but not cylindrical, but not round.
Spherical.
Spherical, yes. So there was a god at each of the 4, or am I confusing? I might be confusing. Because I was doing research on the Mayan. Anyway, he pushed them apart, and through exhaustion of doing that, they were permanently separated, heaven and earth. He died. And each one of his body parts, and even his last breath, became something on earth. The humans, the air, the mountains. Like, it's an interesting and fascinating story.
So, anyway, Jade Emperor.
So when, after Pangu created the universe, he was created, but in another, he was a mighty human warrior that his entire unit was wiped out, and in the afterlife, they were all given positions of hierarchy in the heavens, and he was granted with the Jade Emperor position. He ruled over all. It was a fascinating story. Sorry, guys. Told you this was going to be a long one.
But that's also was of a virgin birth to the emperor's barren wife.
Yes. Yes. Which I found interesting. Like, the virgin birth is not unique.
No, but virgin birth is one thing, but to a barren woman?
Yeah. It wasn't that she hadn't been with a man.
It's that she
was barren.
Barren. She couldn't have children.
Now, how they determined that in like 4000 BC or whatever it was, who knows? But that is the I don't want to say story. That's the mythos.
The legend.
That is, yes, the legend. Zhigong,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Mad Monk. I like him already, just from his fucking name. A folk hero and champion for the poor and oppressed, kind of like a Robin Hood.
Okay.
Yeah, I left that one for you.
Of course you did.
Jiutian space XUANNU.
Jushin Schwanu.
Okay, that works for me.
I'm gonna try that. That's what I'm going with.
By that name, you would have to know she's beautiful. They could never pronounce her name.
Very exotic. Chinese goddess of war, sex, and longevity, who was deemed to be very beautiful and very mysterious.
A seductress, if you will. Not a succubus.
No,
but a seductress.
So she's kind of like the Chinese version of Freya.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because if you can't lamb slam.
I can't think of the version for the Irish, but yeah, there's one. Well, Freya, what?
Freya was Norse.
Norse. So what about Greek? Your fave?
She would
Aphrodite.
be a combination of Aphrodite and Athena.
Yeah, war. Yeah. Would that be Legon or Legon? Legon. That sounds like a freaking that's a legume, like the bean. I'm sorry, I don't mean any. LEI space GONG, like gong. God of Thunder, who punishes evildoers, both human and demon.
So Thor.
100%.
Luban, the inventive Chinese god of carpentry, patron of builders and contractors. So basically,
the story of Christian Joseph. Jesus was a carpenter.
Yeah, in Greek he would probably be Hephaestus.
Yes, definitely. What was that look for? Mazu. Mazu. Okay.
I mean, just because you went straight for the Christian.
I don't know. Anyway,
Mazu.
Goddess of the sea, god of the sailors, fishermen, and travelers. Then there's Menshen, fearsome Chinese door god, guarding building occupants against demons. Like, they had a god for the door.
Well, see, and that's multiple gods. I mean, because there has to be one
gods,
at every door.
Right. And then, how would you...
Nezha.
Nezha.
The precocious Chinese deity who protects teenagers, misfits, and drivers. Okay, so she's doing double duty if you've got a teenage driver who is a misfit.
And then there's Nuba, or Nua.
No, Nuba.
Yeah. No, I wasn't talking about the one under Nuba. Never mind. Goddess of droughts and loyal daughter of the Yellow Emperor.
Yes.
And then Nua, which I did not mean to, because there's different enunciations of the letters. So
and you kind of have to be careful with like the Chinese and the Japanese, because
it's different.
And Korean and Vietnamese, because like the tone that you take with a specific syllable could completely change the meaning.
Well, the Japanese always sound angry, at least in the conversation that I've seen. They're very, very energetic, very...
Yes, and I don't know which one it is, but one of them always sounds confused to me.
Oh, I don't know which one. I'm not owning that one.
I'm not going to say which one, because I don't even know which one it is, but one of them always sounds confused to me.
And then there's Pangu, which we talked about already.
Talk about Nua.
Yeah, we did.
You said Nuba.
No. Okay, I'm sorry. Nua, the goddess who created all mankind.
Sister and wife to Fushi.
Even they gotta throw in some fucking...
Incest? Yep.
Like, I literally didn't catch that. I don't know if I got that or you got that, but I didn't see that.
So you want to hear something funny? You know, I've been... whenever I come home for lunch, or like on the days I have off, I'm watching a show called Reba It's a sitcom.
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
So there's this one episode where her son, who is the youngest of 3 kids, basically walks up to her after church and asks her if a brother and sister can marry. And she's like, why don't you ask your Sunday school teacher that next week? He's like, she told me to ask you. So then she goes to their minister about something else. And as she's on her way out the door, she says, hey, I have a question for you. And he says, okay. And she asks him, can a brother and a sister marry? And he looks at her and says, I told Jake to ask you that. Meaning Jake is her kid.
Right.
It's like, yeah,
well, what's funny though is they imply it in the Bible.
They do. Well, but
I mean, you can't have, if there's only one family and they have kids, like, where did they?
Yeah, well, so here's the thing, and I hate to go into the Bible right now, but
you know what, we're not.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. We'll do that some other time.
Pangu, the first living being, kind of similar to Greek. I think it's the Greek, where there's basically chaos and anti-chaos. The waters of life and emptiness. And through them, they create the first being. So Pangu was created as the first being. He was a giant. I mean, he separated the earth and the heavens.
Right.
So he had to be pretty freaking big to do that. So there was only one reference, though, that I found that actually called him a giant. Interestingly enough.
Which I find his name fascinating, considering that when you take into consideration when the continents of the earth were all one piece.
Oh, Pangea?
Pangea.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That I didn't get lost, or that didn't get lost in me either. I caught that. And their view is that he separated heaven, as I mentioned, yang, from earth, which is yin. So that whole yin and yang, they don't really, or the research that I didn't really get into that, but earth is yin and heaven is yang, and there has to be perfect
balance, and there's a little bit of each in the other.
Right. And then he eventually, as I mentioned, transformed into different elements and aspects of nature when he died. Like limbs became mountains, breath became the air. Like, just, it was quite fascinating. Anyway,
Sangwan Dadi.
Sangwan Dadi, right?
And I'm guessing that's what I'm going with.
S-A-N, well, I'd go with that too, because I was going to say Sangwan Daddy. I mean... S-A-N-G-U-A-N space D-A-D-I. The Imperial... That's text short for Daddy. Just saying. There are some weird people out there. He was an imperial official of the sky, earth, and sea in Chinese mythology, who judged humanity. Shenong. The farmer god, Shening. Farmer god, patron of agriculture, and father of traditional Chinese medicine. What about the Yellow Emperor? That's what I said. Remember, I mentioned they have multiples of... So I think it really has to do with the different city-states that they come from. Because the Mayan were like... I don't mean to bring that up again, but like the northern tribes or city-states of the Mayan had different gods, named gods for things, but if you match up what they're god of, like what they're god of, just different name.
Right. And well, and in this case, it could be that maybe he learned it from the Yellow Emperor.
True.
But because he was the one who actually brought it to the people mainstream, he was the one credited with it.
That's a good point. The next one, though, Sun Wukong, S-U-N space W-U-K-O-N-G, the Monkey King, a trickster god known for his lack of fucks. Give two fucks. He got kicked out of kicked out of heaven, supposedly, because he refused to bow down to the supreme god and do what he was told to do. What I find fascinating about the Monkey King is that, based on the research, the Monkey King is first mentioned in literature.
Oh, right. He was basically a fictional character who was so beloved by the people that he became.
Because he was a trickster, but he was for the people.
Yes.
Like, he fought for the people.
But
he fought against the gods and the supreme god for the people. So that literary character became so entrenched in the conversation and, for lack of a better word, the water machine conversation, water fountain conversation, that he became something that they
So it's like
venerated.
people who think that Harry Potter's real.
Yeah, but no, not the same. Not the same. No. It would take Harry Potter becoming far more... I really believe there was something about the storytelling, and it became folklore, that it was believable.
We're talking
we're talking about peoples that believe still to this day in dragons. I believe in dragons too, but it's part of their culture.
Yes. So like, if people back then heard about Harry Potter, they would think he was...
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
Because he was the boy who lived.
Yes. Why are you going to turn into Harry Potter?
Percy Jackson?
Don't you dare mention freaking those 3 movies that sucked with werewolves and vampires. Don't.
Oh, I was going to say Star Wars.
Oh, no. That's actually based on Hamlet. And
So was Lion King.
With the dust that said sex.
SFX.
Uh-huh.
Sound effects.
Okay. Sure. Or the Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid poster of the castle that had a giant... I didn't have it. My stepdaughter had that poster, and it got thrown away. I tried to save it.
Moving on.
You know how much money that would be worth right now?
Yes, I know. Moving on. Wen Chang Wang.
Okay.
Wenchang space Wang. Chinese deity of literature and culture who was very popular among students. I love this one.
Good. Go figure. Then you should love the Monkey King, because that's all it was. I love the Monkey King, though. Like, I would fucking give him fucking offerings and blessings because he was awesome. He was for the people. And I could totally see how in an era of depression and poverty, like a character like that would become deified. Anyway, I love the Monkey King. And some of the movies they've made featuring the Monkey King, spot on, perfect.
I don't think I've seen any.
I
feature
have.
the Monkey King.
I have. Well, they're usually, what's that?
Subtitled?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen any.
No. But Jet Li did one that wasn't. Yes. Look it up. So, and then we have, you said Wan Chang Ching, Wan Chang Wang?
You're on Wu Feng Shengdi.
Oh, sorry. Mythology's physical manifestations of the Taoist concept of heaven.
Huh?
Yeah. This is something that apparently some people, it's a concept of heaven according to the Tao. Because the two biggest religions, based on the research that we've done, is the Taoist and the Buddhist.
Okay.
And then there's the other.
The others, yes, yeah. The others.
Yeah, so I don't really have a whole lot about that.
Okay, so Shihei, solar goddess in Chinese mythology, mother of the destructive 10 sons.
Now there's another, like that's a whole another group of deities. You realize that, right? Mm-hmm. The 9 sons, the 10 sons, the 8 immortals, the 5 immortals.
If you're wanting to look into this one, it's spelled Xihe.
And then, oh, Jesus Christ.
Zhiwangmu.
Mm-hmm. The Queen Mother of the West. The most powerful Chinese goddess of life and death. And I'm sure there's a whole lot more
about that one.
Yan Wang, the ruler of hell, overseer of the underworld in Chinese mythology, and judge of the dead.
And then we have Yue Lao, the Chinese god of love and marriage, who appears in the light of the moon. Interesting that they have a god of love and marriage when most cultures have a goddess of love and marriage.
Well, I mean, maybe they put more power or energy to the phallic symbol. Just
maybe.
Not that I would do that, because, you know, the vessel of the goddess is supreme, life-giving, even. Yushi, Chinese rain deity, still prayed to in times of severe drought.
Maybe we should pray to him. We're heading into summer.
True.
And from what I've heard, it's supposed to be even hotter than last year.
You're going to love the next one.
Zhao Jun, the stove god.
The god that watches over the home and family. Stove, not hearth.
The stove.
Stove. Now, I'm hoping that it was the interpretation of the writer. Like, I looked this one, I mean, and they all kind of said the same thing. And I found stove god to be the most humorous. It wasn't the god of the hearth or god of the home. It was the stove god.
The stove god.
And I'm not trying to disrespect or offend, but this is the research that I found. And then we have Zhang Kui.
The demon hunter. Oh. Popular Chinese protector deity who fights ghosts.
Again, they had a vast belief system. If there was a demon hunter and ghost hunter that they, to some degree, venerated,
then there had to have been a serious belief
in those, which was also the idea of worshiping the ancestors, venerating and giving homage to the ancestors,
to placate them.
An amazing mythos, amazing culture. I mean, I knew quite a bit of the Chinese culture before we started this because I have always been fascinated with it. How a little island called Japan completely dominated an entire fucking country for...
And we'll be getting into that later.
A better part of the beginning of the 20th century,
right,
during World War One and Two, or...
Yeah, one and two.
Yeah. But aside from that, like, their history is rich. There's pyramids they've been finding that the government has been covering over.
Oh, that's right.
They found a pyramid with at the bottom of it, there was the tomb, and then around it was like a complete, perfectly measured layout of their empire at the time, and all the rivers and lakes were liquid mercury. Now, to make liquid mercury is very difficult.
Right.
It's not, you're not going to find a vein of liquid mercury.
Right.
It's a scientific process.
Right.
And they had that. Like, it's fascinating. Their entire culture. And it was really fun doing this, even though I knew that if we really got into it, it would be a 2 or 3-parter.
And we'll probably revisit this a little bit farther down the line.
Maybe, yeah.
But we did want to give at least a little bit so that if these gods and goddesses or these entities speak to you, you can at least have a starting point. Because that's what this whole series is about.
Sometimes a little more detailed than others because they strike a nerve or whatever. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. We did. I did.
And thank you, by the way, for doing the research for this one.
We did the research. She's blowing my this whole time I said we, and...
I did a little bit, but you did most of it, and I appreciate that.
Don't get busted with her, because she won't be able to keep her mouth shut. It was a joke. Some of our listeners or watchers will get the joke and laugh. Thank you. I appreciate the acknowledgement, but I've said we and our research and through the whole thing to dissuade from...
And like I said, I did a little bit, but the vast majority of this was you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking this one on, because I was overwhelmed with this one.
I could have kept going. It was fucking fascinating. I feel the same way about the Aztec. I mentioned the Aztec in this 2 or 3 times and started to confuse, because there is the story of 4 gods holding up for the cardinal.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Love you.
And we love you. Peace.
Peace out, witches.
Have a great night.